Right now, the search is still on for the person who shot a San Diego police officer. Thanks for being here. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol filling in for Netta Arampur. Now, the shooting happened just before noon yesterday near Whiteman and Ogden Streets in Chollas Creek. You can see the map right there on your screen. Police say the suspect is armed and dangerous. CBS 8's Chris Groh, he's live outside the San Diego Police headquarters with the latest developments. He also has reaction from residents. Chris?
Good morning, Eric and Dana Marie. And look, this was quite the scene yesterday, especially when we showed up just fresh off of that shooting happening, that 1199 call going out over the radio, a county-wide call of officer down. And the reaction, again, was just staggering to see, especially in just a short time and in such a small area. If you think about it, between University 52nd and 54th Street, completely shut down as they searched for this shooter. Now, let's go through the timeline just a little bit here. What we know so far, sometime after 11 o'clock yesterday morning, that officer who was shot beforehand was on patrol by himself. He spotted a truck that had been reported stolen. So when that officer tried to pull over the truck, the driver actually bolted out of the truck and ran off into a nearby apartment complex. There was a foot chase. When the officer ran after him, that person then pulled out a gun and shot the officer in the arm. No shots were reportedly fired at the suspect. Now, that officer was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. He was responsive, but now the search for that suspect continues. In fact, at one point yesterday, there were hundreds of officers in that area during that manhunt. We saw SWAT teams, we heard flashbangs. They took someone into custody, but it turned out to not be the shooter. And residents in that area were completely caught off guard by everything that happened.
We were just told that the children were on lockdown and that we were just supposed to wait. We're a little nervous. I got the police scanners up, so I'm just trying to listen and just find out more information what's going on.
And so what we can tell you right now is that the San Diego Police Department is saying that they need the public's help, and they are asking if anyone who's in that area, if they think that they know anything, saw anything, to please call the San Diego Police Department. Eric and Dana Marie.
Chris Groh live with those updates. Thank you, Chris. This morning, former President Donald Trump facing federal charges relating to his handling of sensitive government documents after leaving the White House. This is the first time a former president has been charged by the Justice Department and the second time a former president has ever faced criminal charges. 2 U.S. officials and Trump's attorney confirmed the indictment to CBS News. 3 sources familiar with the case say the 7-count indictment involves the retention of national defense information, conspiracy, and obstruction. Trump proclaimed his innocence in a video uploaded to Truth Social.
It's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. Just like Russia, just like the fake dossier was a hoax.
Trump started fundraising for his presidential campaign 20 minutes after releasing that video. A law enforcement official says U.S. Secret Service will meet with Trump's staff and security today to arrange a plan for his travel and arraignment, which is expected Tuesday in Miami. This is just one battle of many for the former president and what he is facing. In March, he was criminally charged in New York on 34 counts of falsifying records and bribing adult film star Stormy Daniels with hush money. He pleaded not guilty to all of those charges. In May, the former president was found to be liable of sexual abuse in a civil case against columnist E. Jean Carroll. He's also facing another investigation with the Justice Department. He related to his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. And in Georgia, he's facing a similar investigation into his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
And this morning, a man is in a San Diego jail. He's accused of murder in Florida nearly 40 years ago. 65-year-old Donald Santini was arrested here in San Diego this week. He's expected to appear in court today. Authorities say he killed 33-year-old Cynthia Ruth Wood near Tampa back in 1984. Authorities have not revealed how they even tracked him down all these years later. And this morning, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria continues to push for a homeless encampment ban. Today, he's going to highlight the impacts on parks. This comes as a new report finds there were more than 2,000 homeless people in the downtown area just in May. This is the first time ever it's reached these heights. That's according to the Downtown San Diego Partnership. That report came out on the same day as the point-in-time count from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. They found a total of 10,000 people across San Diego County are homeless. That's a 22% increase just from last year. Mayor Gloria says the results were not that shocking.
We know full well that our shortage of affordable housing, the proliferation of illicit fentanyl, as well as our broken mental health system, are helping to create a perfect storm that is playing out on our streets.
Gloria wants City Council to approve the unsafe camping ordinance next week. If passed, the ban encampments in public citywide as long as there are shelter beds available. It would also ban encampments near schools, parks, transit stations, regardless of that shelter capacity. The mayor says it's a matter of public safety. But there is fierce opposition right now to the proposal. Critics say the proposal criminalizes homelessness. Groups like Alliance San Diego, they're asking for officials to, quote, plan, not ban. Opponents have created a petition to ask City Council to implement a plan instead. City Council is set to discuss the ordinance on Tuesday.
This morning, MTS leaders are taking a step toward ending a bus driver strike. MTS board chair and San Diego City Council member Stephen Whitburn suggests providing an additional $1 million for the current contract. But the catch is bus service must be restored no later than June 23rd. The $1 million are in addition to the $21 million in new funding for a $2 an hour wage increase for bus operators employed by contractor Transdev. Negotiations have stalled between Transdev and the drivers union. The MTS board will discuss the funding to end the stalemate next Thursday. The San Diego Police Department is hiring. Tomorrow, SDPD will showcase both sworn and professional job opportunities within the department. The Career Expo is being held tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Police Plaza on Murphy Canyon Road. It will feature demonstrations from various units, including SWAT, K-9, Crime Lab, and others. I always thought it would be really neat to be a part of the crime lab, right? You know, you see that in the movies, solving these homicides with, your Petri dishes and a little DNA.
I've always thought I'm not smart enough to be part of the crime lab, but hey, to each his own.
Stick to the weather then,
We'll throw Eric in the crime lab there. No, I will stick to the weather here. And hey, at least over the course of the weekend, we're keeping things pretty mild. We are going to see an increase in cloud cover between Saturday and Sunday as another trough of low pressure sinks in, producing a bit of moisture to kick off your Friday morning. A happy Friday to you. Right now the time is 6:08 and we are working with those clouds stretching all the way from your coastline to the western slopes of your mountains. Green scattered all across the screen, showing how, yes, those showers are very scattered this morning. A mist to a drizzle, in some cases a light rain, enough to dampen the roads but not really cause much difficulty out there. Forecast shows that we're getting some sunshine by the afternoon, upper 60s along the coast, low 70s inland, very similar, almost identical in terms of your afternoon highs today compared to yesterday. So we're going to hold on to the warmth and the sunshine today, and I say warmth hesitantly because even with it being the warmest day of the week, we're still cooler than average on our afternoon high temperatures. So this is still going to be trending a few degrees cooler than normal. Average would be closer to 72 along the coast, about 75 to 80 as you move inland. So instead of average, we're hanging out in just that slightly cooler than average range, but we are at least going to see some sun by the afternoon. Less sun in store for Saturday and Sunday. Cooler temperatures as we drop down to 67 along the coast by Saturday, 65 by Sunday. Going into the beginning of next week, we start to see that trough have much less of an influence on us. Marine layer will start to break apart a little sooner in the day, and we'll also see more sunshine and warmer temperatures later on next week. So that's something to look forward to. But there's a live look outside from Mount Soledad. Sunrise was at 5:40. We are going to see that sunset at 7:56. And again, do expect some afternoon sunshine. Let's take a look at your border wait times from the CBP website. It is a 10-minute line at the general line for the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Very short out there. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, reportedly 5 minutes out there. So it shouldn't take you long to get from Mexico into the U.S. Once you get into the U.S., if you want to check up on your highway conditions, cbs8.com/traffic has that. We also want to check in on gas prices. Today's average is $4.93 for a gallon of regular gas in San Diego. That is up just 1 cent from yesterday, but still nearing that $5 marker.